Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Amitha. Join us weekly to get motivated by guests who will share their success stories. कहते हैं कि laughter is the best medicine. तो आज हम आपके लिए लाए हैं वही medicine in the form of our multi-talented artist guest with a funny bone. He's garnering lots of attention being a social media influencer. Let's welcome Shayan Ali Syed, aka Simply Shayan. Hello, Shayan.
Hello, Amitha, and thank you for having me and giving me such a good intro.
We are very excited to find out about your journey and get a little entertained by you today. लेकिन सबसे पहले जाते हैं आपके बचपन की ओर and tell us a little bit more about your growing up and your education.
I come from a Pakistani family. I moved to Canada in year 2000 और आप जब घर के बड़े होते हो जब आप मतलब you're the eldest son and you move to a new country, the brown thing is that you're going to be a doctor or an engineer. So that was already decided for me. So that was something that education-wise I went into. I went into computer science and did my studies there. But growing up from my time in Canada, I was very into performing. I was always someone who would just crave a chance to get on stage on cultural events in school and all that. So the bug was always there. But growing up brown, you also had to get your academics. So I did that. So I'm an IT guy during the day, and in night I turn into Batman of arts.
Amazing. ये तो आपने सही कहा. Sometimes in our South Asian culture, it is known. Maybe it's less so these days, but yeah, usually there's a push more towards academics. So right now, जैसे कि आपने कहा, you're an IT guy by day and the entertainer by night. But when did you actually realize that you wanted to pursue that artist side of you? क्योंकि it sounds like maybe initially you didn't have a lot of support. So when did you really know that?
It was kind of a mixed bag. Growing up, when I showed interest in getting on stage and everything, my mom was very supportive. So she would be always one of those people who liked seeing me on stage and liked me doing things. And my dad was more about do it as a hobby and all that. And I believe when we moved here, when I was a kid here, the South Asian representation in the arts was just getting to that point. It wasn't there as it is now. So that was something that we had to struggle because you had to find the right platforms and all that. Coming out of high school, going into university, and going through my academics, I still thought that the bug was still there. Like I wasn't able to get rid of my performing bug. And once I saw it, it wasn't going anywhere. I started to pursue it. So I started pursuing it pretty early, comparatively. Yeah.
Amazing. And along the way, were there any role models or inspirational figures that you looked up to figure out which part of the artist you wanted to be?
It's interesting. I was always interested in the dancing part of things. And I feel like that was my foot in the door, sort of say, in Canada. Being like a face of expression, I think I rely more on my funny expressions. And when I saw people dancing, that was something that attracted me towards it. And it kind of, organically became into acting and all that. So dancing was definitely something that was the first step in. And I ended up doing some mosaic festivals and doing some dance competitions, which we'll talk about later.
Amazing. So now this is interesting. You mentioned that Aap Yaha in the 2000s, and at that time you said there was not a lot of South Asian influence in the mainstream artistic world. So how did you keep up with it? Kyunki aapki influence, it sounds like has been mostly from a South Asian scene. How did you keep up, or how did you keep in touch with that and then pursue it?
Big credit goes to my family because they were really into Bollywood, and I guess
Oh.
growing up, Bollywood became our that one thing जिसने हमें जोड़ के रखा हुआ था अपने culture से. So
Hmm.
that played a huge influence in my growing up because my parents loved listening to songs, watching movies. That was something that we did, and you're right, because there was not a lot of platforms and outlets for us to perform. I think we were creating our own sort of way, and
Hmm.
trying to find the right people and the right associations to work with. And I was lucky enough. I feel I was lucky enough to find the right people at the time, and even now I feel very blessed and lucky that I've met great people in this industry, and the South Asian representation in the mainstream has gotten a lot bigger, and we're hosting a lot more big shows with bigger artists, which is a great thing to see.
Then I have to call you one of the trailblazers because you have kind of, paved the path for many who followed. So no, this is great. So Bollywood ka shukr guzar hu ki hame simply Shayan mila because of that, you kept in touch and then you've come up with your own material. This is great. Well, we are glad that Shayan Ali Syed, the IT professional by day, is now simply Shayan by night because you have some amazing work. So we're going to talk about that. लेकिन उससे पहले लेते एक छोटा सा break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to the multi-talented Simply Shayan. So this is interesting, Shayan. Simply Shayan, that's your artist name or stage name. So हमें simply ये बताइए कि when was that born?
It's an interesting story, and I get this question a lot. Okay, why Simply Shayan, and how did it begin? Uh, as I said, I was really into acting and dancing, and because I'm a big, tall guy, I was always sort of typecasted into a bad guy or a negative role and things of that sort, which I used to love. But I wasn't able to show my comic side to things. And in 2018, early 2018, I took a stab at stand-up comedy, and it was something that uh, kind of organically happened. I wanted to show the funny side of me to the world, and coming from a South Asian background in a Western country, your name is always screwed up. कोई मुझे सायन बोलता था, कोई मुझे शायन बोलता था, कोई मुझे शान बोलता था, शॉन बोलता था, Shannon बोलता था. So I was getting tired of telling people that I'm just simply Shayan. I'm just simply Shayan, and I think that's where the idea was born. And I just try to make things simple. Is what I do.
Very interesting. So simply Shayan, मैं अभी ये बताइए, let's go into the different, facets of the artist that you are. पहले जैसे कि आपने कहा, dancing was where you got your foot into this industry. So tell us a little bit more with that phase of your artistry.
It's a good story, and it's a very organic story. I feel like मेरी जो artistic journey है, वो you just have to be at the right place at the right time, kind of thing. And I feel like with my hard work, I was always sort of in the right mix. It started off very early because हमारे जैसे आपको पता है South Asian families में big gatherings, big दावत्स होती हैं uncle aunties की. And when I was 13, 14 years old, my mom would force me to dance in front of all these uncles and aunties during parties. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the attention. And then when events started happening in school and in colleges, I would just end up being on stage because I just enjoyed dancing so much. I wasn't the most trained dancer. I wasn't the most, gone through like the classes, but I enjoyed my dancing, and I think that showed on stage. It gave me, and then again, because I started pursuing it and used Mosaic Festival in Mississauga, which was my first major show. I ended up auditioning for a show called Desi Idol, which was held in 2015, and it allowed me to get selected to go travel to Chicago, where I performed behind Shah Rukh Khan and Saif Ali Khan. So I was one of the back dancers, but it was a really good opportunity. And dancing, I could thank dancing for that. And then from then on, because I was getting so much compliments and encouragement, that I kept going with it. And opportunities came along. And one thing that I say about myself is that I jump the ship. I always jump on it without, thinking of what it could be. And and thankfully, so far has been good. I ended up being a semi-finalist in a show called Nachenge Sari Raat, which was hosted by Javed Jaffrey, and I got a chance to talk to him, which was a big idol for me growing up from Boogie Woogie, and you know this. Boogie Woogie हमारा show था, हमारे लिए था, वो हमारी generation का. So it was a great thing to meet him. And so that's where the dancing came, and it's still going. I still go on TikTok and try to do those, millennial dances. I try. I don't know how good I am, but I try.
And you succeed. And you succeed because now you're a social media influencer. तो उसके बारे में बताइए, ना सिर्फ TikTok में, you're all over social media. Tell us a little bit more.
Social media is a big platform. Any kind of social media, right? And I feel like sometimes we tend to use it in the right and the wrong way. And I think it's very important to use it in the right way and be involved in those things. And Instagram has allowed me to sort of be myself, be who I am, and share my opinions and share my ideas. And it's been a big part of me being a social media influencer. I don't know if I want to call myself an influencer. I hope I'm influencing people in the right way. But
you definitely are.
Thank you. But yeah, it's a huge opportunity to use that platform. I think from years ago, where artists like me and you and anybody else would depend on big networks, big productions to showcase the talent. And due to the competition, a lot of talent didn't surface. I think social media allows us to sort of display our talent without going through the whole big production, big stuff. And I think that's why you see a lot more talent coming out. I think during the pandemic too, I noticed so many people who were like electrical engineers or doctors ended up being such amazing people on Instagram and TikTok again because of their talent. So I think that's where I try to be on Instagram. I try to encourage people to do more of who they are. And don't be afraid to show who they are. I think that's where I come in on Instagram and all the other stuff.
Very well said. You're very right. I mean, yes, like you said, it's also important to, jump on opportunities, but you also have to create opportunities for yourself, not just take a backseat and, just hope that somebody will come discover you. So this is great advice also you're giving. So yeah, definitely a social media influencer that has jumped on board with the trends and also inspiring so many others. And on that, we see your acting skills to the greatest, and your being a comedian skills to the greatest. So tell us a little bit more of those two facets of your artistry.
So I feel like when I started dancing again, going back to my first love, the expressions and the story behind it really intrigued me. And I think any Desi guy growing up with Bollywood, I think had some Bollywood dreams of being a hero or being an actor. So it was fascinating to me. But the more I did, so I started in theater. Mostly, I did a show called the English version of Mughal Azam, और मुझे राजपूत का रोल करना पड़ा था English बोल के, which was odd enough, but that allowed me to get on stage and sort of show itch my acting bug. And once I started digging deep, I loved the idea of portraying a different character, portraying showcase a different side of those things. And being an observant guy, I think it's important when you are a stand-up comedian or an artist or any sort of artist to be observant and to to portray a character and observe how a certain character does. It was fascinating to me, so I definitely tried my hand in that. And अभी तक कोई ऐसा नेगेटिव कमेंट नहीं आया कि एक्टिंग छोड़ दो, तो अभी तक मैंने छोड़ी नहीं.
लेकिन आई एम श्योर कि वो ऐसे कोई नेगेटिव कमेंट आएगा भी नहीं. एंड इवन if at all, I know आपकी जो abilities की वजह से you will keep going because you are a hard worker. We can hear that through your journey.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Or that again, as I said, hard work will always beat talent if talent doesn't work hard. So, I find myself jump on the ship, be at the right place, be involved, and I think that's my idea of showcasing my talent to the world.
तो आपकी जो comedian है, like it comes out, I think, in all aspects of artistry. And as we are talking right now too, you're giving me the giggles, on and off. Is that वो जो आपकी जो comedian side है, उस पर भी काम करना पड़ता है, या does it come naturally to you? Because it sounds like it's coming naturally right now.
I guess a lot of it is natural. Because I think ever since I was a kid in the family, I love being the center of attention. Like मुझे सारी attention अपनों पर चाहिए होती है, right? And I know it sounds like a little self-centered thing, but it is what it is.
That's normal humans.
That's just me. And
I guess you're a human after all.
I guess I'm not an alien. Again, as I said, like growing up around a family, a big family, I found out early that comedy is a thing that I go with, because obviously I don't look like Hrithik Roshan, not like the most physically fit guy in the world, or the most charming like Shah Rukh Khan. I can make you laugh. I can try to make you laugh. Either you can laugh with me or at me, but I'm gonna make you laugh. So I found that that bug in me a little. Like I saw that around my friends and families, and I thought, why not try to take that to the stage, and showcase. In terms of working on it, it does require work. Obviously, writing jokes, using the right wording, using the right story, that requires some work. And I was lucky enough to meet a lot of Desi comedians and non-Desi comedians while I started doing my gigs, and they helped me out in terms of structuring your comedy and writing. And as I said, this field will make you learn a lot of things if you're open to it.
Amazing. वैसे you are amazing on the whole, given your journey, जैसे कि you have defied stereotypes, you have defied expectations, and you have paved the way, for yourself and inspiring so many others. So Simply Shayan, we have more to talk about, लेकिन उससे पहले लेते एक छोटा सा break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Simply Shayan. तो शायन, अब हमें ये बताइए कि आपकी जो लॉन्ग टर्म विजन एज एन आर्टिस्ट वो क्या है?
well, अभी तक समझ में आ गया है कि ये चीज है जो मैं हमेशा करता रहूंगा. Like I think I'm turning I don't want to say my age, but I am turning a healthy 34 soon. And just to mention कि मैं अभी तक सिंगल हूँ, तो if ladies are listening, you can always contact Simply Shayan. Just putting it out there. But I think when I realized कि ये कैसी चीज है जो it's part of me. It's part of who I am. It's part of what I am. And in terms of my future in the artistic world, I would like to do a lot more, acting. And currently, I am writing my own sort of scripts and stories, which I tend to shoot soon and come out. In my spare time, that's what I try to do. Try to write my own stuff. Like you said, stereotypes is a big thing when it comes to South Asians, and the auditions I've given over the years, and not to take any shots, but I always end up being either the guy who's a terrorist or a guy who's a cab driver or a Uber driver. And I feel like we are much more than that. And I think that's something that I would like to showcase in my writing and my acts. And that's my future plans to sort of take what I've learned over the years and my experience of being a Pakistani, a Desi Canadian, and show that we are more than just cab drivers or Uber drivers or things of that sort. So that's my hope, and that's what I sort of tend to sort of break the barrier in the social media in the media network.
Very well said. And like I already mentioned, the trailblazer, and that is inspiring to many of our viewers who are watching today. Do you have any words of advice for them?
I mean, if you can learn something from anything that I've said today, is that don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are not good enough or you can't make it, because you see a lot of criticizers in this world. The world is full of critics, good and bad. Take the good in their stride. Don't think that you know too much. Keep learning. I think being a student of the art is very important. And as long as you think of yourself as a student, you'll always keep learning and keep meeting very interesting and good people. Sometimes our artistic industry does get a bad name because of certain things, but don't let that discourage you. I think like my very favorite comic writer Stan Lee said, that if you have a dream and you genuinely think that it is a good idea, then don't let anybody tell you that it is not, because that vision is given to you for a reason and only you can see it. So keep knocking on that door. Sometimes it takes a little longer for that door to open, for that window to open and see an opportunity. But trust me, keep knocking, because there's something good on the other side for sure.
Wow, kya baat kahi. Amazing, Shayan. It's been great talking to you today, and thank you for sharing your journey. Where can our viewers find your work?
So I'm everywhere. I try to be har jagah. I'm like Santa Claus, Desi Santa Claus. I'm watching you. I'm kidding. But you can find me on Facebook, Instagram at Simply Shayan. You can also look for me on TikTok and Clubhouse, which is a new app. I don't know how many of you guys remember, but I'm on that now as well. So any social media where you can find something funny, just type Simply Shayan and you'll find me. And I will hope and work hard to bring you more content so that आपको हंसाता रहूं, खिलाता रहूं, हंसते रहना चाहिए इंसान को.
Well, thank you so much, Shayan, कि आज आपने हमें हंसाया, and thank you so much for inspiring us with your journey, with your words. We wish you all the best with all your projects.
Thank you so much, Amitha, and I can't thank you enough for allowing me to come in again. You're doing a great job with this show, and it's very important, to sort of showcase the upcoming talent. And I'm towards like my 30s, but there are still a lot more artists being pushed through, and I love seeing that. I love seeing people from our community breaking the barriers and coming through. And I think you are one of those people who pioneered the network, and I've always been a big fan of your multi-talents, and one of those avatars today is a host. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's inspire each other. Well, viewers, that was Simply Shayan, who has inspired us today with his journey. And in a minute, you get to see a little bit of what he actually does. But that's it from my part for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to Facebook us and follow us on Twitter. Write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, leaving you with Simply Shayan.
Hi guys, this is Simply Shayan, and मैं एक वो लड़का हूँ जो best of both worlds and worst of both worlds कह सकते हैं आप उनको, कि Canadian race confused desi. और growing up Bollywood was our एक ऐसी चीज थी जिसने हमें जोड़ के रखा. और मेरा थोड़ा सा ट्विस्टेड कॉमेडियन दिमाग था, तो मैं कभी भी चीज सीधी नहीं देखता था। तो एक दफा मैं बॉलीवुड की कुछ शोज देख रहा था और मैंने सोचा कि व्हाट इफ these artists were stuck in one place and couldn't get out. और फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर एक जहाज है जय कुछ है और उसमें सारे बॉलीवुड के एक्टर्स हों, तो वो कैसे अपने स्टाइल से और अपने इन्फ्लुएंस से जिन्होंने हाईजैकर्स को कन्विंस करेंगे छोड़ने के लिए। तो एक दफा ऐसा हो रहा था कि आईफा अवार्ड्स हो रहे थे और जहाज में सारे इंडियन एक्टर्स आ रहे थे और बीच में जहाज हाईजैक हो गया। तो जब बॉलीवुड में कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है तो बॉलीवुड सीधा अपने बिग बी के पास जाता है, बच्चन साहब। बच्चन इज आवर सेवियर, मिस्टर अमिताभ बच्चन, एंड ही इज अ लेजेंड। तो सबने कहा कि बच्चन साहब प्लीज कुछ करें। तो बच्चन साहब जाते हैं हाईजैकर के पास और कुछ इस तरह बोलते हैं, नमस्कार, हमें जो है बिग बी कहते हैं, हम शहंशाह हैं बॉलीवुड के हैं, और हमसे आपकी हाथ जोड़ के विनती है कि इन लोगों को जाने दीजिए। है, हम कलाकार लोग हैं, क्या करेंगे, जाने दे, शुक्र, लंबे का ख्याल रखें। हाईजैकर्स ने उनकी बात नहीं सुनी और उन्होंने कहा जाके लंबू उधर जाके बैठ जाए। अब जहां अमिताभ बच्चन फेल होता है वहां शाहरुख खान उठ जाता है। तो शाहरुख खान ने कहा कि मैं ट्राई करूंगा। तो शाहरुख खान जाता है ऐसे अरे हाईजैकर साहब, आपने हमारा जहाज हेड कर लिया। आप क्या जानते नहीं है कि मैं डॉन हूं, बादशाह हूं बॉलीवुड का, किंग ऑफ खान फ्रॉम द अपर क्लोटस। कैसे आपने हमें इस तरह करने की कोशिश करी? मैं को पता नहीं कि इतना बड़ा स्टार हूं। उसने कहा अबे तू हकलाता का ज्यादा है और बोलता कम है, वहां जाके बैठ। शाहरुख खान वाज आल्सो रिजेक्टेड। फिर आई बात द मोस्ट लॉजिकल एक्टर इन बॉलीवुड व्हिच इज आमिर खान। तो आमिर खान ने कहा कि मैं इसको स्टारगिरी से नहीं, मैं अपने दिमाग से मारूंगा। तो आमिर खान कुछ इस तरह जाते हैं, एक्चुअली है जगह आपका जो है ना आइडिया गलत है। आप लोग थ्री इडियट्स तरह एक्ट कर रहे हैं, आपको पता नहीं है कि तारे इस जमीन पर हैं, तो आपने तारों को ऊपर ही पकड़ लिया है। तारे इस जमीन पर अच्छे लगते हैं, आप थ्री इडियट्स हैं, आप बिल्कुल इडियट हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं? तो कहते हैं जाके बैठ जा, उसको भी जाके बिठा देते हैं। अब सारे बॉलीवुड जब फेल हो जाता है तो पीछे भल्ला, एक एक्टर भल्ला था अंदाज अपना का, वो बैठा होता है। तो वो उठ के हाईजैकर के कान में जाके एक चीज बोलता है और हाईजैकर्स अपने दे गिव अप एंड दे लाइक ओके वी डन। तो अमिताभ बच्चन पूछता है कि तुमने ऐसी बात क्या कही? हाँ, हम तो इतने बड़े आर्टिस्ट हैं, तुमने ऐसा क्या कह दिया जो मान गया तुम्हारी बात? कहता है माय डियर लंबू, तुम्हारी अक्ल अभी भी घुटनों में है। अरे मैंने सिर्फ उसको ये कहा कि अब तुम्हारी माँ और बहन मेरे कब्जे में है। और इस तरह उसने हाईजैकर को छोड़ दिया।